consider education for your kids a high priority. There are many facts that you should know regarding public education and homeschooling. Going to a public school versus being homeschooled, it is important to be knowledgeable of what each option entails. I'm about to tell you why public schools just might be the better option. One of the toughest decisions that you're going to face as a parent is that you're going to have to decide where to send your kids to school. For some parents, the choice is easy because the options are limited by funds and availability of a parent's time. According to the Institute of Education Science, about 1.1 million children are expected to attend public pre-kindergarten this fall. Enrollment in kindergarten is projected to reach an all-time high of approximately 3.8 million students. However, most parents at least consider alternative options, like private school and homeschooling. How children learn is a major factor in determining whether your child should stay at home or should go to school. Homeschool children tend to learn through an individual experience, and maybe that is the best for your child. Regular public school children learn through relationships, and that may be what your child needs. It's a tough call because there are pros and cons to each option. For many advocates of either homeschooling or public school education, the environment offered by each situation is a determining factor as to whether a child should be homeschooled or sent to a regular public school. Make sure you know the type of public schools in your area. There are many websites online that provide you with the information on the type of schools you're zoned for. You should get familiarized with the school your child will be attending by going to an open house and see what they have to provide for your child. Being the parent of your child, you only know what is best for them. So asking them what they think about a public school can help with your decision as well. So what are the pros and cons regarding public schooling? Here are some common benefits when it comes to public schools. Convenience is a major factor. The proximity to home and the availability of school bus transportation to the public schools. They have teachers that are equipped with resources to passionately and effectively engage children on topics and activities that most parents are not able to do. The cost, it's free, so you don't have to think about your pay for your kids' education. Provide a safe environment for children to be cared for while you and your spouse pursue careers of your own. It's what's considered the norm. Kids will basically fit in with society after going through a standard schooling. Diversity. Kids will get to meet all kinds of different people and will learn tolerance eventually for everyone. Provide a ready-made opportunity for children to meet and play with a lot of children from different genders, cultures, and backgrounds. Don't have to worry about arranging and supervising play dates. Just send your kids to school and it magically falls together. Ensure that all children learn history and are exposed to a wide variety of beliefs and viewpoints. There is also commonly cited drawbacks when it comes to public schooling. Low quality of education. Many people feel that public schools gear education to the lowest common denominator in the school, which means that smart kids lose out. However, there are special programs that kids who feel that are not being challenged enough can go to at public schools. Peer problems. Kids may argue which peers or pick up bad habits in public school where diversity is common. However, students can only truly learn how to problem solve with their peers if they're in a regular public school. Students can only learn how to handle and overcome peer pressure if they are faced with it in a regular school. Design of education. The public school has a curriculum that doesn't really allow for individuality or input from the parent. Your kid will learn what the school says he will learn. Again, go to an open house. See what is provided for your child to learn. There are different kinds of public schools that are based their learning on a wide variety of things like charter schools. Just like how you need to know all about public schooling, you also need to know all about homeschooling as well. Homeschooling is when a child or children from a family receive their educational instruction from someone in the household, usually a parent or a guardian. When you homeschool, it means that you are in charge of your child's learning education. It is up to you to choose the direction of your child's education and to provide educational instruction and other educational opportunities that may help your child to learn. Many parents find that you can avoid all the problems of public and private school with homeschooling, but homeschooling isn't perfect either. Homeschooling means that parents will spend all day with their children, all day, every day, without a break. Without proper planning, this can make life very difficult. It can deprive the child of valuable interactions opportunities with their peers. It can mean missing out on sporting and other resources, and it can be somewhat monotonous living and studying in the same environment each day. Another con of homeschooling can be the difficulty that people outside of the family may have understanding why you are homeschooling. It may often cost more to homeschool as well. In addition, parents who decide to homeschool may at first have some difficulty feeling comfortable in their role as a teacher. However, homeschooling can also bring several advantages, both for children and parents. Parents who homeschool are able to spend all day with their children or child. Because of this, parents who homeschool often have a better understanding of their children, even beyond their teenage years. Likewise, the homeschooling tends to develop good communication skills with parents. In addition, parents are able to make their own family values central to their children's education. They can contribute positively to their child's academic, social, and emotional development as well. When a child is homeschooled, they don't have to worry about being paced with other children. They can work ahead or behind if they need to. Another pro is that homeschooled children can be encouraged to explore areas of academic interest in addition to the basic fundamental educational needs. So now that we know the pros and cons about both, how does public school make for a better opportunity than a homeschooled child? Humans are social creatures. That is the belief of many regular public proponents. Children should interact and to work with one another in order to build real vital skills needed in the real world. For example, the advocates of regular public schooling believe that learning the reading process can certainly happen effectively at home. After all, they say most kids do learn to read at home. However, the goal of public education is not to teach students simply how to read, solve math problems, or to solve scientific equations. If that's the case, homeschooling would be the best option for everyone. Public schooling gives a child more of a diverse social education than homeschool children. Being homeschooled means that you will be in a smaller setting, with only the teacher and yourself to talk about your concerns regarding a school subject. As a student who has attended public schooling, I agree that being able to ask your peers about school assignments can really help when getting ready for a test, or maybe to have something explained a little different so that you're able to understand. You use your friends and peers to set up study groups and able to conquer hard tests together. As a homeschooled student, you miss out on that and you are not able to be social like you would in a public setting. Being social, whether it's having a bunch of friends or just one best friend, is also a very important factor when it comes to growing up. You use your speaking skills every day to be accomplished on what you want from life, whether it's an interview for a job or asking someone to help at the grocery store. The mission of regular public schools, the supporters argue, is to teach kids those skills, and then how to use and apply them through meaningful, necessary interactions with their peers and teachers. That, in essence, is the focus of many regular public schools: relationships. These relationships can only truly be formed in a regular school. Being in a public school is more than just education and setting you up for your future goals. It's also about making memories with your friends and after-school activities. Homeschool children are being unfairly deprived of traditional life events, such as proms, graduation ceremonies, class field trips, and other activities that public school children typically experience. Having the same environment for something as important as learning, and also where you spend time with your family, can get somewhat overwhelming. You need to be able to let some of the energy and stresses by being able to laugh with friends or go play ball after school. I'm not saying that if you're homeschooled you can't have friends. However, it's hard to relate to friends that you don't spend time with and share the same struggles of schoolwork. Homeschooling doesn't provide extracurricular activity, and again, it's hard to relate with people that you don't spend time with on a daily basis. Another common subject when it comes to homeschool is college. According to a recent debate and asked, are public school students better prepared for college than homeschool students? Out of 571 votes, over half voted yes. So what about the future goals after high school? As a matter of fact, homeschool students tend to have a harder time getting into colleges, and it can restrict them from advancing in their future goals. Many claim that it's just as easy to get accepted to college as it is for a public student. However, this is not the case. If you're homeschooled, you're often required to take extra tests and applications to get accepted into a college. This is because you don't get official transcripts when you are homeschooled. A lot of colleges require an online schooling program, or at least get admittance or a GED and more. Needless to say, being in a public school and finding colleges and applying can be overwhelming within itself. Then to add more documents, tests, and applications on top of that can restrict your child's future goals rather than help them. As a matter of fact, according to the College Board, a non-for-profit membership organization whose mission is to connect students to college success and opportunity, states, in general, homeschool students follow the same college admission process as students in public or private schools. However, They may have to fulfill some extra requirements. While some colleges admit many homeschool students, others do not. Public schooling initially provides more of what a child needs in the long run, and would not restrict them when they eventually become independent. Homeschooling and regular public schooling each has advantages and disadvantages. One may offer a more controlled environment for a child, while the other expose him or her to a world of different ideas you cannot possibly imagine. You may find it difficult to choose between the two. Although public education can have its lows, such as peer pressure or one-style type of curriculum, it is ultimately better all around. Homeschooling can also be seen as a better option for some parents, as it does provide an education curriculum that can be adjusted to your child's learning abilities. However, with homeschooling comes a lot of dedication on the parent's part. You have to learn what your child is learning and be able to teach them on a variety of subjects, and a lot of parents don't have that time to provide for their children, as they have the careers of their own to pursue. When deciding to homeschool, you have to take a lot into account, not only for you, but also for your child, such as social education, extracurricular activities, stricter acceptance to colleges. Making the right choice depends upon how your child learns, and what you like him or her to learn. Now that you know what homeschooling entails, maybe you can see why choosing a public school may actually do more good.